Are you ready for Sunday school, kids?
Hello everyone, welcome back to God's Garden. It's a beautiful day and we're delighted to have you all here with us. Well, you know, we have this gorgeous piano here in the church and we have an organist/pianist who is incredibly talented. And I look at her as she's playing and I think, wow, I wish I could play like that. I wish I had learned to play the piano. Do you ever feel that way? Would you like to play the piano? Well, you know, it occurs to me that there's a real cost to being good at playing the piano. I mean, think about it. First of all, you have to have a piano, right? Well, I Googled and I tried to find how much it would cost to buy a piano, and I found one for about $700, but it didn't look like it was probably in very good shape. So, pretty expensive to buy a piano. And then, there's not much point in having a piano if you haven't got someone to teach you how to play it. So you'd have to have a music teacher, right? And I gather that it can be fairly expensive. Maybe $25 a week just to have someone teach you the piano. So that's, figured it out, it's about $1,200 a year. Then of course you have to buy the music. And not only do you have to spend money, but think about the time you'd have to spend. I think piano teachers expect you to practice at least an hour a day. So there's a big cost to learning to play the piano. Well, Jesus said when he asked some of the disciples to follow him, he told them, he warned them ahead of time, there would be a cost to following him. I mean, for one thing, they wouldn't be able to spend a lot of time with their family and their friends because they'd be with Jesus. They'd be almost like nomads, not really have a home of their own. They'd just be going from one place to another and staying with whoever would hopefully put them up for the night and feed them. And there would be people who would not agree with what they were doing. People who would maybe get quite angry at them for the decisions they'd made. So there was going to be a pretty hefty cost for following Jesus. So what does that mean to us? Jesus has called us to follow him. Well, there's a cost. There's a cost. I mean, think about it. There are times when maybe you would want to do something and you think, oh, I know that's not what Jesus would want me to do. So you'd have to change your mind about what you were doing. Maybe there would be somebody who was looking lonely and maybe scared of the playground, and you'd look over and see your friends playing and you'd want to go with them, but you knew that Jesus was calling you to spend time with that person who was alone. Maybe you would be wanting to do something, but you knew there were other things that God was calling you to do instead, and so you'd have to give those up. So there's a cost to being a follower of Jesus. But you know what? I watch our organist when she's playing, sometimes on a Sunday morning, whether it's on the organ or the piano, and I see the look on her face, and she's loving every minute of playing that organ or that piano. And I think she wouldn't consider that to be too hefty a cost. And it's the same thing with us. When we're following Jesus, when we're doing what we know Jesus wants us to do, it's such a wonderful feeling inside that it's worth everything. It's worth the cost. And so let's just say a little prayer. Dear God, I know you want each of us to follow Jesus. And thank you that when we do, the cost is just unconsequential, that it's worth everything. That wonderful feeling of being a part of what Jesus is doing on this earth. So Lord, we thank you for that opportunity. Amen. Well, here we are down in God's garden, and we're talking about following Jesus. So this morning, we're going to make a footprints in the sand. And there's a special reason for this. On the information that Marilee sent to you, to your parents, there is a little clip here about footprints in the sand. And I'm not going to read it to you because I think it would be special for you to read it. read it to your parents if you have the opportunity. So you want to cut that out, read it first, and then start on the craft. Okay, we're going to put this over here, and you're going to take a large sheet of paper and just draw a wavy line here to separate the sky from the sand. Okay, so just like that, however you want to do it, okay? And then we need some white paint, some blue paint, and some yellow paint. And we need some sand, and we need your feet. So you can take your socks off because you're going to have bare feet to do this. Okay. So you can either start off by putting your feet on here and drawing around them, making two footprints in the sand, or you can use paper or cardboard and draw around your feet and then cut them out so that we can glue them on here after. I'm going to do it that way for now because it's a little less messy for on the camera. Okay, so you've got your footprints either here or on the paper. You've made your wavy line. The part above the wavy line is the sky. So you start off with white paint. Okay, and you paint white up here above the wavy line. Okay, just sort of slap it on. Doesn't have to be too precise. Okay, now then you take your blue and you paint that on here so that you have sort of a textured blue, dark blue, light blue, white, so it makes a really cool sky. Okay, so keep sort of putting your blue on. And again, it doesn't have to be too precise, just make it look a nice textured blue, dark blue, light blue, a little bit of white peeking through, that's the clouds. Okay, so then you're going to do the bottom, this is the sand. So again, you start off with the white and just sort of put it on however it goes. Okay, just put your white on a little bit more. Okay, and then your yellow. And just do the same thing as you did with the blue. Just paint it on top of the white so that it's textured. A little bit more. Here we go. Maybe one more. Okay, and then this is where you have to be kind of careful, but take your sand and sprinkle sand on here while the paint is still wet so that it sticks. Okay, now you need to have a tray or something where you can take this and hold it over the tray and shake it so that any loose sand comes off and goes into the tray so that you don't end up making a big mess. And then you have your footprints, and here's my glue. Now, if you had put your footprints on the paper itself, you'd be able to just sort of mark around where your footprints were, or if you're doing it the way I am, and you've done your footprints separately and you're gluing them on, I think that's probably the easiest, but you can do it however you want. Okay, you put glue on your footprints. Here we go. And then glue your footprints on. Oops, I think I did that the wrong side. Oh well. Better do the other one because, where's my glue? I'd have 2 left feet. Now, I think we've heard about that before. That's usually when my husband is dancing. Oops, better not let him hear that. There we go. There's our... Now, we still want to put glue on all over our footprint. And you can do that if you've used the paper, the extra paper like this, or you can do it if you've drawn your footprints on this piece of paper as well. And then you're going to take your sand. I'm just going to use my fingers to sort of squish that around. There we go. Okay. And then take your sand. Put it on the footprint. Okay, and then of course you need your tray again. Take that and shake the extra sand on your tray. And then the last thing you're going to do, there's my scissors. Okay, we're going to cut out the story of the footprints in the sand. Leave, rather than cutting across that line, go up a little bit higher. So you've got something to glue this onto your footprints. Okay, so cut around there. There we go. Your glue. And then just put that on at the back on the bottom so that you have your story. And there you go. Whoops! Glue my foot back on again. A little more glue. Probably would work better if you let the paint dry a little bit first, or just leave it sitting on the table for a while till the paint and the glue all dry. Okay, so there is your footprints in the sand, and I think that when you read that little story about the footprints in the sand, I think it'll really kind of tug at your heartstrings. Okay, let's put these aside. And we'll get our next craft. Lots of stuff here. Okay. I'll just put this over here so it can dry. All right. So our next craft has to do with following Jesus. And when we follow Jesus, we end up in heaven. And so this is a little book on how you sort of see heaven. So what we're going to do is we need a piece of paper. We need a colored piece of paper first for the cover of our book. We need 2 pieces of paper like this. This is 6 inches here, so you just mark it off, and then 2 inches and mark it off. And then you cut off the bottom part because we don't need that. Okay, so we have 2 pieces of paper. And I need to mark off 6 inches. And 2 inches. And 6 inches and 2 inches. Just draw a line. Something underneath here. Draw a line and draw another line. Okay, and again, we cut that bottom piece off because we don't need it. And then we fold it back along the other line that we have drawn. Okay, so both of them, you fold them back. Okay, these are garbage. Now, then we need a piece of cardboard, just the regular size cardboard, and I guess you could even use this from a cereal box or something if you needed to. Then this we need to mark off. This is 12 inches along here, 4 inches here, 4 inches here, and 2 inches each end. And then we fold it in half, fold it like this, and we draw on here a tree with a cross. And I'm going to color in my cross. Okay, color in the cross, and you can do this however you want. And then, there we go. Here's our cross. And then, if you want, you can cut out the tree. You don't have to. But I sort of like the idea of just cutting around the tree like this. Okay, make sure you don't cut all the way around the top because you want it still to be able to fold. So just around the outside. You don't have to get in too close so that it gives it a little more strength if it's not too close. Okay, so there's our tree. On the other side, we're going to do a sun. So if you have a little piece of yellow construction paper and something round that you, about this size, that you can just make a circle. Okay, make a circle, and then make a sun like that. So then I'm going to cut out the sun around all those little spikes to make it look like a sun. Okay, round we go. Well, it's a nice sunny day today, so this is the appropriate time to be doing this. Are you all excited about going back to school? It's going to be kind of exciting to see all your friends again. Maybe not so exciting having to get up early in the morning for those of you who like to sleep in, but it'll be fun to get back and see maybe some friends you haven't seen all summer. Okay, so here's our sun. And we're going to take our glue. And you can decorate this any way you want. Maybe swirl some glue around it. And then put some little sparkles on it. Oops, let's try the gold one. Let's put this on. Okay, and then you've got your tray here still, so you can put your extra. There we go. Okay, and then take the back of this and put some glue on here, and then glue your sun on. Okay, now here comes the somewhat tricky part. You're going to make, on your book, you're going to start off with, I am the way, and this is us following Jesus, following the cross. And then on the other page, you're going to draw a picture of what you think heaven looks like. And it can be whatever comes to your mind, and that will be the sun. We're following the sun, or the S-O-N, as well as the S-U-N, to heaven. And so you use your 2 pieces of paper, okay? And I'm not going to spend, I could spend a long time drawing what I think heaven is like, and also drawing this lovely following Jesus. But I'm just going to do a quick little one. So on the one side, okay, you put these together sort of like this, okay? And on the one, here's the path to following Jesus, and it says, I am the life. Jesus said, I am the life, and he said, I am the way. And I got this backwards. Do it like this. Okay, let's try this again. So the first part is, Jesus said, I am the way. So he is the way. We follow him. I am the way. And on the other one, he takes us to heaven, and he says, I am the life. So we spend the rest of eternity in heaven with Jesus. And so you can draw whatever you want on I am the way, beautiful things about the earth, the flowers, the trees, all kinds, whatever it is you think you'd like to draw in terms of here on earth. And then this is where you get to use stickers. You can draw whatever you think you'd like to put about what you think heaven might be like. Lots of love in heaven. So you can spend as long as you want just decorating this, ready for your little book. And then, okay, now you're going to take your cross and your sun. The cross goes to your left, and let's get some glue here. Okay, so first of all, you take your colored piece of paper and fold it in half, so you know where the middle is, okay? Then you're going to take this and you're going to glue it in the center like this. Okay, so let's get some glue. Okay. Glue that on here. Okay, then you're going to take, and make sure that your cross is to the left and your sun is to the right. Then you're going to take your I am the way, and that goes on your left. So we then put some glue on that little tab that we folded over here. Okay, and we put that on here. Then we take the other one, I am the life, and we do the same thing. We put glue on that little tab that we folded over. Okay, we glue that on the other side. So do you see what we've done? We've put I am the way, going straight to the cross, and then the sun, this is heaven, I am the life. Now, to make it really look special, we then are going to put some glue just along the edge here. Okay, along the edge. Just about got it. There we go. Okay, now you're going to fold this a little bit and glue it like that. Okay, so that it is kind of bending here and looks really nice and fancy. Okay, same thing over here. Okay, last little bit. Okay, and then do the same thing. Fold it back a bit, not to get too much glue all over your fingers. Stick it down here, and I'll show you this one because it's more decorated than the one I just did, but there you go. See, there's your little book. I am the way, there's the cross, I am the life, this is heaven. So we follow Jesus, and we end up living with him forever. Him and all of the people that we love. That's a pretty exciting thought. Okay, so now we're going to sing our song. Okay, our song today is a really great one that fits in with the theme that we've been talking about today. I've decided to follow Jesus. I have decided that I'm going to follow Jesus. I like this song. Are you ready? I'll sing it through first, the first verse, and then we can go on together. We'll start over again and sing the whole thing together. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. Okay, you ready? I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back, no turning back. I have decided, come on everybody, to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. God bless you. Bye now.